Listen and learn.
Oh, yeah. What up, what up, what up, what up? Hey, everybody, look, listen, and learn with the Master G and the place to be. And I apologize for last week. I had an experience that you would not believe. In my whole life, I was selected to be a juror on a case, which... When I tell you, listen, man, I've done a lot of things, been a lot of places, seen a lot of things, but jury duty, that's got to be the craziest and the scariest situation that anybody has ever done. And also, too, it's like one of the hardest things that I've ever really had to deal with because, you know, my most of my life has been dedicated to motivating young people, inspiring young people, developing young people, bringing young people from, you know, negative situations to positive situations. And then, you know, I had to literally, you know, I'm not going to say what happened, what the guy did or whatever, but, you know, I was in a position where I had to send somebody a guilty verdict, man. And it just really saddens my heart because the whole time that I was sitting there, I could see the individual as somebody that I wish I could have got to before they got to that point. Because there comes a point where, you know, I call it the point of no return. Because there's certain things that you do that you have a chance before it gets to that point of no return to fix it. You know, like in the situation that my man was in, he was at the point of no return. You know, he was at the mercy of whatever it is that everybody had, you know, to make a decision on based on his life. Don't put yourself in that situation, people. Don't put yourself in that situation, man. So yeah, so that's why I wasn't here. We didn't do the show, but so much was going on. So much is happening. So much has happened. I got so much to share with you. I've been soul searching because what I've been doing is I've been reaching out and finding out that the struggle is real, people. Not that I didn't know the struggle was real, but I just been experiencing the struggle. I've been moving and rubbing up and getting up and next to many people, man, that they need that positive and reinforcement. They need that spiritual uplifting. And I'm just going to say, man, that I think it's our responsibility to each one teach one. What I mean by that is each time you have an opportunity to either inspire somebody or uplift someone or give somebody something that'll help them get through the day, I think it's our duty, man. It's our obligation to do that because I cried about having no shoes till I saw a man with no feet. If you understand what I mean by that, you know, there's so many things that are going on, and no matter how bad you think your situation is, somebody is going through something a little bit worse. You know, something else is a little bit more messed up than your situation, and you gotta go ahead and get into, you know, making it happen. I call it giving gifts. You know, anytime when I was a kid coming up, my mother told me, you know, anytime you went to somebody's house for the first time, you're supposed to bring a gift. A housewarming gift or the first time you go to a gift. So I kind of adapted this philosophy that every time I meet a person or every time I have an opportunity to talk to a person, like even doing a show, you know, I want to give gifts, you know, whatever. And my gifts are in the form of motivation. My gifts are in the form of inspiration. My gifts are in the form of, you know, anecdotes, experiences, ideals that can help you help yourself, you know. There's an expression, and many people have heard this before. You can teach a person how to fish, and they can eat for life, or give a person a fish and they'll eat for the day. Well, I think the deal is teach people what it is, the tools, because many people want to win, but a lot of times many people don't know how to win. So if I know how to win, I got a better chance of actually winning. In other words, I can't hit a target that I can't see. It's not possible to hit a target that I cannot see. I'm on a new quest. I'm on a new horizon. I'm working to develop this thing that I call Master G. I'm working to develop these experiences and these ideals and these concepts and things that I've been working on my whole life. And I put myself in a situation to develop the information that I need to win. So first thing I got to do is see it. I have to see it. In order to be it, you got to see it. So I got to see what it is that I'm looking at. Now, once I see what it is that I'm looking at, my next thing is, okay, how do I get to that point? What is it that I got to do? Or how is it that I have to do it to get to that particular situation? It might be more discipline. I might have to read more. I might have to sleep more. I might have to eat more, but I must develop the information to be able to hit the target that I see. I must be able to see it so I can get it. It's kind of my thing that I've been working on all along. I say this all the time. I seek the truth, therefore I speak the truth. I don't like wasting words, folks. I do not like wasting words. If I don't really have something positive, or if I don't have something motivational, if I can't say something inspiring, or I'm not entertaining, or I'm not bringing joy to people, then I'd rather not say anything at all. In my private life, I'm not the most communicative person. I don't really get out and talk a lot because I'm not always sure of the environment that I'm in, or I'm not always sure whether people can receive me well. So I tend to not be as verbal as you might see me in a show, or if you come to one of my concerts, I'm kind of like the quarterback of the group. So I'm doing a lot of the talking, and I'm kind of setting the pace for the show, and I'm putting people in at ease, and I'm entertaining. And then let's say you might catch me out at dinner, I'm not necessarily going to be that same individual. That's part of my passion and my thought for seeking the truth, so that I can speak the truth. If it doesn't have any validity to it, then as far as I'm concerned, I really don't have anything to say. On the list, things are going on right now. I'm going to be in Pittsburgh tomorrow, and then I am going to be Saturday, going to be doing the Emancipation Day concert in D.C. at Freedom Plaza. Very, very important for me because it's something that I'm doing for the first time on a grand scale, which is performing as a solo artist. I'm always going to be connected to Sugar Hill Gang. Always. That's my foundation. That's my lifeline. That's my situation. But I have an opportunity to now start embarking on doing some things on my own. And this Emancipation concert that's happening Saturday, April 13th, is one of the first opportunities that I'm going to have to do that. And do we have that PSA? Do we have that PSA? Yep. Oh, I see that we have some people in the studio. I always wanted to say that. We have some studio guests. We're going to run the PSA. Hey, Mo. Hey. Oh, okay. I'm my fault. I had to put that out there. On April 13th at 3 p.m., get ready to rock. One day, one location, one gigantic concert. This is Master G of the Sugar Hill Gang, inviting you to come out and show out for the music, the message, and some of the biggest stars. Rock the stage at Freedom Plaza on April 13th, 3 p.m. for the Emancipation Day concert, followed by fireworks lighting up the sky.
Visit DCEmancipationDay.com for details.
On April 13th at 3 p.m., get ready to rock. One day, one location, one gigantic concert. This is Master G of the Sugar Hill Gang, inviting you to come out and show out for the music, the message, and some of the biggest stars. Rock the stage at Freedom Plaza
on April 13th, 3 p.m. for the Emancipation Day concert, followed by fireworks lighting up the sky.
Visit DCEmancipationDay.com for details.
And we're back. No.
I like that. I like
Right?
that.
You like that, right?
I like that. I like that.
I am joined by none other than Angie Gates, the director of DC Entertainment, the big time. Woo!
Let's get it. Let's get it.
She's the reason why I got a job Saturday. So, Angie, how are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
I'm
no, this
delighted
is a
to
true
be
honor.
here
This is a true honor.
with the legendary Master G.
Here we go. No, this is very cool. I really appreciate you coming out. I really appreciate you hanging out. I really appreciate you pulling the trigger and giving me the green light on coming in and being a part of the
Emancipation celebration.
Isn't this awesome?
Making history.
Right.
That's why we got to have you here. You know, you historic. You're a legendary part of
bless your heart.
representing the hip hop culture.
Bless your heart. So listen, all right, give us a little bit of history about you. You know, how you came to be. Just, because there's, some of my folks, they're still getting used to me being a part of the DMV.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Boom, go.
So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up with music in my veins. My dad's a musician.
Good.
And so I started in New Orleans back with the Cash Money, Lil Wayne,
yes.
Baby, Birdman, and I was managing the Sanger Theater,
Oh.
then started managing the Warner Theater here in D.C. after going on tour.
Yeah.
But it was so interesting after going through Hurricane Katrina. I never thought I could find that spark of music until I got to D.C. and experienced go-go. And so to be able to work with our wonderful mayor, Muriel Bowser.
Shout out to the mayor.
Yeah, shout out to the mayor.
Gotta give the mayor a shout out.
To be able to work with her and then to be able to oversee the Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment. It's just, it's a wonderful thing. And I don't feel like I'm doing a job.
Right.
Like, it is, I'm very passionate about it. And just to really continue to put DC on the map musically
Absolutely.
is our due diligence.
Well, the thing that I was thinking about, because, fortunately I've been, in music for a little while. Mm-hmm. And I've been involved in the business aspect of music. I've been involved in the creative aspect of music and the performing aspect of music. And what I like to get people to understand is without people like yourself, shout out to Mo, shout out to Mike, all the people over there at the office, right? A person a creative individual like myself who writes songs or does, stands up on stage or whatever, we can't get our information or our message out without people like yourself. And see, a lot of people don't understand that because, it's called, the music business is called an entertainment business for a reason.
Right.
And there's the creative aspect, but there's also that business aspect. And they're like two hands, they're like, they fit like a glove. You can't have one without the other.
No, it's like the perfect marriage.
Right.
So what's, happening on stage is
Right.
that creative component. So you can't have one without the other. But I learned a long time ago, you have to learn the business of music. I'll never forget being backstage and in the industry it's rare to see a lot of females running venues or being backstage.
Definitely.
And I just remember running across an artist one time and they're like, oh, you're gonna meet us at the after party. I'm like, no, I'm signing your check.
Right.
I'm signing your check.
That's the party.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's key, and we have a due diligence to continue to lift each other up, and like, for example, the legacy that you've created, and then all of the, hip hop artists that's coming up behind you.
We're very
it's very, very important that we maintain the history of music in general. We worked on a documentary, Straight Crankin', and covered 40 years of the go-go history here in DC.
Oh my God!
And it's also an educational tool, something that can be used for the students at DCPS, and it's telling a story that hasn't been fully told before, but more importantly, it's leaving a legacy behind.
Yeah, and that's something I want to touch on. So, with the projects, I know you do film. Are there anything that we would be like, wow, that you can talk about?
One big wow is just the resources that we have available. So you don't have to go to Atlanta. You don't have to go to LA. You don't have to go to New York. It all starts here in DC. And there's an opportunity to, whether it's a video, a commercial, a documentary, a full-fledged, feature film, we can assist you with that project.
Exactly.
If you have a budget of $250,000, we got you with the film rebate fund. If you have a budget of $2,500, we got you. Because we do different partnerships to help bridge the gap, whether it's editing, helping you edit a film or do a completed project on a film. And it's not just marketing DC for national companies to come in and shoot their projects here. Of course, it's always about putting people to work, but we invest seed money into production companies that are here locally.
Yeah, see, people need to know that. And, the thing about DC, and one of the reasons why I even came to DC, I came down to DC because of that. The energy here is a little different from, other parts of the country. You know, I mean, there's so much go-go, you got so much jazz going on. Of course, you got rap happening. You got, it's my man named Wale and all these different people coming from this area. So Raheem Devon, all these different people coming from this area. There's so much going on down here, and I'm thankful and I'm fortunate enough to be a part of this situation. But I want the new artists. That's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I was talking about. I want to reach out to new artists and let them know that, because this is the first thing people, well, how do I get started? What do I do? If you live in Sioux City, Iowa, you might have a difficult time getting started.
A few challenges here and there.
Right. Not taking anything away from Sioux City, Iowa, because I've been to Sioux City, Iowa before. But, a place like DC, maybe you might want to come to DC. You might want to check it out. It changed my life. I mean, a lot of things that I'm doing, and I was talking about that earlier before you came in, what I'm doing, like with the emancipation thing, this is an opportunity for me to enhance a lot of the things that I've been working on and was developing, and as a result of being connected with you, because through the museum, because that's how we,
a random hello, how you doing?
Right.
Done led to this.
Right. Exactly. Through the museum and Jeremy and Mark and all the other people that help.
Shout out to
Dave
Jeremy,
Mays, Dave. Shout out to Dave. All the people that put us in position. Organically, we made something happen. And that's the thing that I want a lot of people to understand. Organic entertainment is the thing that most people have got to give the room to live.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A lot of times people don't, writing a song. Writing a song is a very organic experience because it comes from the thoughts and the ideas or the inspiration of something you might have saw, something you experienced, something you went through, whatever the case may be. So there's got to be a platform for that. There's got to be an opportunity. There's got to be a way. And that's what I'm saying. We're reaching out now. That's one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on the show, because I wanted people to be able to see that synergy.
Well, what I really love about when we met, and with Dave, Jeremy, and Mark, it's about the content of your character. Right. So yeah, you vicious. You got multiple talent, but it's the content of your character that supersedes even what you do and your talent. And the content of the character of all of us that were there, that afternoon. And I think that's what's key. We have to take care of each other.
No question.
We also have 202 Creates, which is an initiative, particularly in September, when we highlight all things creative. And so, whether you have a song that's played on the radio or not, we have a due diligence to make sure that we push music out, push your film product out, television programming out, and we do all of that under 202 Creates. So I think that's very important for people to know. We're a one-stop shop.
Right.
So we have the studios, we have the radio station,
Beautiful.
BC Radio,
Beautiful
that we
facility.
Made history and launched. That's the second full-powered radio station ran by a government municipality. So we're a one-stop shop.
That's
so
amazing.
We've got to encourage people to get involved, and we lucky to have you be a part of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said, I'm reaching out, and I'm going to do my daggone dangness to, let people know. Because I believe in being connected to the environment that I'm affiliated with.
Right.
I believe that wholeheartedly. I appreciate, the compliment of, the character. But in my sense, I think it's really nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Absolutely.
And I think that if more people understood that, if you're, and I totally got this from Quincy Jones. If you are gracious with your talent and humble with your success, you're going to have a better opportunity, and you're going to reach and connect with way more people. Because again, and I'm going to keep bringing it up, it's that young guy right now that might be watching us right now, or it's the young individual that's going to be coming to the concert, you know, or it might be the guy that's been working at the post office his whole life, and he's been writing songs, and he just, you know, oh, I just want to be able to get my stuff heard.
Right,
you know?
and it's the person that lost their job today. You know, that's what I think. Sometimes, you know, you have to go through some things to get to where you need to be or where you're meant to be. And I think so often when people see someone on stage or see, you know, where they may have a title in front of their name, it took a lot of ups and a lot more downs, you know, to get you, you know, to be where you are. Absolutely. So I always say those that have lost a loved one or lost a job or anything like that, you know, you gonna come up. You just have to go through a particular struggle. And I know for me, I like to, you know, be that person that can bless people along the way when you least expect it. We're always looking to showcase talent and have you learn in the process.
It's funny because like I said, right before you came on, I was kind of bringing everybody up to speed. And one of the things that I like to do is I like to give people information. I call it giving gifts. You know, if you come to somebody's house, you know, you come to somebody's house for the first time, you bring a bottle of wine or, you know, something. Well, I always believe that when I meet people and I feel like I'm meeting so many of my fans, you know, I've never really had an opportunity to do this in the whole 40 years that I've been creating music, making music, performing. I've never had the opportunity to be able to connect with people the way that I have now. So I feel like one of the most important things for me is to keep giving out knowledge. So earlier in the show, I was talking about the struggle. You know, and how the struggle is real. Oh,
all day real.
You know,
like when I talk to people, they're like, "Oh, I haven't had a hard time. I hadn't been through nothing." Well, I don't really want to fool with you because I don't know how strong you gonna stand when something goes down. So no, I can't do you.
I'm gonna have to wait. Maybe you need to come back and see me in a minute, because the struggle is real, and there's so many people out there that really need to understand that when they see a person in your position, when they see a person in my position, they need to understand we had to go through it to get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think quite often, I mean, I'm very blessed and fortunate to have both of my parents in my life as I was growing up, and my grandparents. But it was so interesting because I think it was in the darkest times that I was able to realize that you're much stronger than you think you are.
That's the key.
And I think that's when I learned the pivotal lessons that for every step I take, if I'm taking two, who am I bringing with me? Because they got to take one with me.
There you go.
Or I'm not, you know, being a good service to myself or a whole community, you know, behind me. So
you're not being true to what it is that you're being fortunate enough to do.
Absolutely.
But that was a rhyme. You're not being true with hey, Mo.
We may need to put a few beats. Let's put a few beats behind that. No. You know I'm trying to get a Grammy. I done got an Emmy. You gonna help me get a Grammy?
I need a Grammy.
Let me tell you.
They haven't given me one yet.
We gonna get a Grammy.
We gonna get a Grammy.
Well, stick with me.
Okay, I'm with you. So yeah, definitely. Like, you know, like I said, one of the things, my other things is I seek the truth, therefore I speak the truth.
I like that.
Yeah, you know, and it's been very important for me to make sure that when I say things out my mouth, they're things that are relatable and things that are obtainable. You know, so many times we get fed so much, you know, malarkey. I'm gonna use that. You know, and it's important. It's important to have people out there that you can go to individuals. You know, I'm sure you have your go-to people. You know, I got my go-to people.
Right.
You know, even in everyday life. You know, and again, I'm giving gifts. Everyday life, you gotta find your go-to person. You gotta be able to go. You ever have that person to be able to go to that person and say, "Hey, well, tell me what's happening," and they're gonna tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear.
Right.
You know, because too many times, you know, especially in my position, you know, people will yes me all day long.
Right. You can't. You know, if you find yourself in a circle of yeses, then that means you got to switch some things up. You know, Jay-Z has this line, less is more.
Right.
And that's how I feel. So I have, you know, my mom is like my best friend, but I have a select few that I keep around me all the time, just to keep it real. And I think quite often, yes, that doesn't justify the actions that you always have to move forward with. And I always tell people, even though you have the right to do something, doesn't mean that that's always the right thing to do.
There you go.
So you gotta
say that again. Say it again.
Just because you have the right to do something
something
doesn't mean that's the right thing to do.
There you go. I'm telling you right now, boy.
Dropping nuggets.
See? There it is.
A little knowledgeable nugget.
There's them gifts. And see, that's what I'm talking about. So, and so again, I'm going to go back to the concert. So now let's get back to the concert. Okay.
You ready for Saturday?
I am ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm super ready. I got to go to Pittsburgh tomorrow. Okay.
As long as you back here on Saturday. Let's be clear. As long as you back here on Saturday.
Without question.
Okay.
I will definitely be here. There's no question. I'm going to Pittsburgh, but I'm really pumped up. Shout out to everybody in Pittsburgh. Don't get it twisted.
What
All
up,
my
Pittsburgh?
Folks, Pittsburgh, everybody. Yes, I'll be there tomorrow night. But hey, Saturday is a big thing, and I found out just through the experience and getting the knowledge and about the emancipation. That it was a certain amount of time, and there was a certain amount of slaves that were
yes,
given
it's
freedom.
very historic. I mean, emancipation is totally applicable to here in the District of Columbia. But April 16th, 1862, President Abraham Lincoln freed approximately 3,000 slaves here in Washington, D.C. Wow. He did that 8 months prior to signing the Emancipation Proclamation. Wow. D.C. is also unique from the perspective that the slave owners were compensated for freeing the slaves. So that's what started the trajectory of freedom across America. Yeah. Wow. So we have a lot to celebrate. This is the 157th year of emancipation. So it's a reason to celebrate, but it's also a reason to reflect on the historic moment back in 1862.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I mean, we got Kenny Lattimore.
Yes, Faith Evans. Dougie Fresh. Ayanna Gregory, Dick Gregory's daughter. Maya, right? Maya. We got EU. Sugar Bear.
Yeah. And of course,
Master G.
Oh,
I love it. I mean, it's just wonderful to have you join us. The mayor's excited.
I'm excited
to see you perform.
I've been down here for 6 years. I never had a chance to meet the mayor, so I'm very excited.
Well, that's gonna be Saturday.
Yes.
That day is coming on Saturday, so we're really happy.
Mo's got something. Hold on. Oh yeah, right. It's free. It's free to everybody. That's another rhyme. Just letting y'all know that. Okay. Yeah.
Right. It's free. And for more information, you can visit DCEmancipationDay.com. So we're doing a parade at 2:00 prior to the concert. The parade starts at 10th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest. Okay. And at 3:00, the concert will kick off from 3 to about 8:30. Right. And following the concert, you can't have a celebration without fireworks. So we'll have fireworks. We'll have fireworks. So all free. So we're excited. So we want everyone to come out.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you. I really think that this has been so cool.
I love what you're doing.
I appreciate it. No, really, to come down and be a part of the show and come on and talk to the people, and I'm blown away.
Look, it's an honor.
No, the honor's all
it's an
mine.
honor and a privilege, and hopefully you'll have me back.
No without question. So listen, everybody, Angie Gates, director, big time DC Entertainment. It's going down. Don't forget, April 13th. Emancipation Day concert, the parade, the fireworks, the performance, all that. Be there, be square. If you ain't there, you should be ashamed of yourself, because if you missed something really good.
It's unacceptable. We'll see you there, bottom line.
Exactly. So we're going to say thank you, give you a hug. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Give me a shout out. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Take care.
Thank you. I love this.
This was exciting. It was so nice.
I love this.
It was so
cool. You are doing your thing. I should have the crew come over one day.
Yes.
And just,
Yes.
do some video too.
Yes.
And make some packages out of it and highlight what y'all are doing. What you're doing behind the camera.
We got some more to go.
Just as good.
We got some more to go. I gotta do some. I gotta move over. Right? They tell me I gotta move over. Right? Yes, I know. Oh.
All right, see ya.
See you Saturday.
Saturday.
Mo,
Saturday.
see you Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See ya.
See you later. Well, we got some real important people hanging out here with us. We got some serious, important people hanging out with us. You see that? Yeah, man. Yeah, we got some real folks up in here. So, now we're going to get a little bit of business. I know that you might check out my suspenders. You might see my suspenders. I've been collaborating with a clothing line out of Houston. Name of the company. Do we have that? Yeah. Can you pull that up? This is another. Yeah. Now, of course, I'm Master G, but this is Mr. G and Company. Before swag, there was gentlemen with class. I love that line. You know. I don't know if people know this, but one of my inspirations for clothing is the movies of the 40s and the 50s. I'm a big movie buff, and my style of dress. The basic foundation of that was, the way that men dressed in that time. A man wore a jacket and a sport coat, and he had, I'm still working on the hats, but cufflinks. All these are things that were commonplace. If you ever look at like pictures from back in the day, the 30s, 40s, you can look like there's a cool picture of Broadway in New York, like in the 40s and the 50s, and all you see is like hats all down the street. That was normal. It was normal for a man to have a suit on when he left the house. Didn't matter what he did for a living. He wore a suit. So that's my foundation. And through all of the things that's going on, I was able to make a connection with Melanie down there in Houston with this company. So what we're doing is we're going to be working on some really cool accessories, tie pocket squares and bow ties and suspenders. I got to get my bow tie game up. I always feel like I look a little crazy with a bow tie, but I think Melanie's going to help me wear some really cool bow tie. Shout out to Melanie down there in Houston, and I hope you like the way I rocked it. I kind of put one of my own ties into the setup, but I definitely think that it's cool in the gang. Yeah. So that's going on, and also, we got to make sure, man, that we are staying fit, people. That was one of the things that I haven't really touched on in the last few shows. I mean, I glossed over it, but I'm going to spend a little bit of time on that. And what I mean by fit is, I was looking at, they got this thing now, they got the keto diet, and they have they got the fat, high fat, low fat, all these different diets, all these different ways to eat. Don't forget that the best way to take care of yourself is to do something with yourself. In other words, if you walked for 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week, just take a walk. Just get out your house, get out the chair, get away from the television or whatever the case may be, and go take a walk. You don't always have to go to a gym. A lot of people think, oh man, I don't have time for a gym. But you could get some dumbbells and sit in front of the television and stand up and sit down, and do some curls, and do some shoulder raises, and do some some pecs, some chest stuff. I got to get people to understand that the older you get, the more you have to do for you. The older you get, the more you have to do for you. You have to take better care of yourself. If you would be willing to take, let's say, an antique car and tinker with it and mess with it, or whatever it is that you like, the nostalgic. You got to understand your body needs to be treated the same exact way. You have to do better things for your body as you continue to get older. When we're young, not a big deal, but I'm telling you. You got to make sure. I mean, we're going to touch on this, and we're going to continue to elaborate on this, and it's going to keep going on. Do we have Jayquan? Is that what that bell was all about? All right. Okay. But, yeah, I'm going to get back to that health and fitness thing as we continue on with the show, but I just wanted to touch on that. It doesn't have to be anything outrageous, folks. It's just something. Just do something. Don't just sit there and let your body go. Do something to help yourself get going to be better and do better. So where's my man at? AJ, how are you, brother?
I'm good. What's good?
It's all good. Yeah, hold on. Let me put my glasses on so I can see you.
Uh-oh.
Where you at?
You sound like me, man. Gotta have that second set of eyes.
Well, in certain lights, I gotta have these glasses. I was talking to Angie Gates. I know you've been paying attention. Angie was on the show and we had a really good time. It was super awesome. It was really cool to have her here.
Okay.
So so I had to take my glasses off so I could be able to look at her from right here. But then now that I'm talking to you, and anytime I talk to you, I got to put these glasses back on, and so that things can be a lot better. Hey, I like the shirt.
Hey, ain't that something? Look at that.
Oh wow! I don't know. I don't know if we can get you so people can see that shirt, man. That is.
I gotta rep it, man. I gotta rep the.
So what record is it?
It's Rappers Alike.
Oh wow! So he's got
the original. It's the original Sugar Hill logo, man, from before they got the candy stripe.
That's the Roulette. That's when Roulette Records was distributing.
That Mars Levy connection.
That's that Mars Levy connection that I know so well. Yes.
I'll leave it at that.
Yes, let's keep it there. So I love your shirt, man. So what's up, man? Talk to me, man. Where you been? What you been doing?
Hey, everything is good, man. Everything is good. I got a couple local talk shows here in Richmond that I've been part of.
Cool.
Part of a cooking show that combines cooking and hip hop for people our age.
Oh, wow.
I'm executive producing that, and got a community show that I'm executive producer. So trying to get into some television stuff, man. It's coming along well, man. Coming along well.
I'm so glad to hear it, man. I know you're moving a shaker. I'm fortunate to be associated with you. I mean,
hey, man,
you make me look better. I don't make you look better. You make me look better.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the sentiment. What's up with you, man? You any shows recently since the Jersey? I know y'all done something since Jersey, right?
Yeah, we did that, but we were kind of bouncing around a week before last. We did some stuff, man, and but this is the big week, man. This is the big week. The Emancipation Day concert. That's the one that we've really been, psyched about. April 13th. Yeah.
I'm looking
in DC.
forward to seeing that. Got the Sugar Bear connection. Got that go-go connection.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, man. That collaboration of putting hip hop with go-go. I've always had a dream to do that, man. I've always had a dream to do that.
I've always had an interest too. Being here in Virginia, I always call it up the street from DC. If you listen to the early Trouble Funk records like Drop the Bomb, when they were doing their independent thing on Drop the Bomb, they actually shout out Richmond because we're so much of a circuit, and support of what they did. They used to hit this circuit in their touring. So early on, man, with the rapper. In fact, Pump Me Up, a lot of people don't give it the props, but Pump Me Up was 1980.
Yeah.
It was one of the early rap records. And it's also an early record that the DJs up in New York and in other places were taking 2 copies and spinning.
Yeah, I know.
So go-go was always on the scene, man.
Oh, definitely. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why it's a cool connection, for me to do this performance with them, and then to do it in DC. You know what I mean?
Certainly.
It's very exciting. I know everybody's really amped up about it, and moving forward, I think there's something to that. I think that there's mileage in creating a situation where we combine. I know, and it's been done. Lightly it's been done. I think like Dougie did some stuff, and a couple.
Dougie did some stuff with I think it was I can't think of the name of the group right now. Rare Essence, maybe.
Right, I think it was Rare Essence. I think you're right.
Kurt did something with EU, Party Time.
Yeah,
they did a record with Trouble Funk. I'm chilling. So it's been dabbled in, but go-go has remained regional. It never broke through on a national tip. For a couple of reasons. Go-go has been in the news this week, as we know. I don't know if y'all discussed that earlier.
Oh yeah, talk about that. The T-Mobile thing, right?
The T-Mobile thing. Yeah, it looks like it's been like a 30 or more year tradition of them blasting go-go. There at the store selling go-go CDs, and looks like a little bit of gentrification maybe, and some newcomers coming in and not liking that scene and trying to get it shut down. And it looks like they had a victory from the CEO of T-Mobile to keep this tradition going. We can come to some settlement that both parties can agree upon. Maybe we'll turn it down a little bit or watch the hours that we do it, but it's got a tradition that they want to keep going. So that was good to hear.
And but that's the thing, man. Like New York, like the New York metropolitan area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, hip hop and rap music, that is our go-go, really. I mean, if you will, because the DMV. I remember the first time I came down here. The first time I came down here to do a concert at the Howard Theater, Rare Essence was on the show. And man, I get up. I'm thinking we gonna kill them. I'm thinking we got the hottest record, and we did okay. Man,
not in DC, you won't kill them.
Boy,
no.
They came out and hit the stage and kept going, and the people went. And I was like, "What is this, man? What?"
They don't play around, man. They don't play around. In fact, Curtis Blow shared a similar story with me. He said when he first hit DC, he played the Capitol Center,
right?
And he said that. Same thing with him. He thought he was gonna come in and wipe the floor with everybody,
right?
And he said, by the time it was over, he would. That's what made him want to collaborate with them. If you can't beat them, join them type thing, because they, the live go-go has to be enjoyed live, and I think that's one of the many reasons that it never blew up. Other than from the soundtrack of Spike Lee movie, it has to be. The records are dope, of course, but it's got to be enjoyed live to get the full experience.
I agree with you. I think that. I'm going to agree with you, but I'm also add something to that. I think that it just hasn't been created on a recorded level yet. So it's late. I mean, of course you got EU's doing it, but that's a big record. That's a huge record. But there's only like specks of go-go that have made it. I hear Do It in the Butt all over the world. As opposed to what happened with hip hop, as it went from 2 or 3 groups to 2 million groups. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We need to figure out a way. And I'm putting myself in that equation because now I'm a part of the DMV and this area. We need to figure out a way to put it in a form where it can reach the masses, so people can really understand how great this music is. Because this music is phenomenal, man. Like the West Indian reggae music. Reggae music has that eclipse type of appeal. So that
exactly,
and it's the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. And rest in peace to Chuck Brown, the godfather of all of it. But
absolutely.
I think another thing too, the makers of the music, they never intended for it. It was never their intention to try to be big in the music industry. They just like with hip hop, they're just doing something to pass the time and doing something they were passionate about.
Right.
And then the industry came. But one thing that the difference that the hip hop finally saw that these songs got to have a hook, and it's got to be rating up a catalog. If you notice, go-go songs usually don't have a hook. And they usually don't stop. Go-go song, 15, 20 minutes long. Right. And they repeat certain things, but it's not radio friendly. The hook it's not gonna be 16 bars hook. So it might be a hook and then 30 bars.
Right.
And then some repeated phrase. So it's not necessarily built for now the EU song that was actually made for radio radio format.
Well, you can listen to it. You can tell that it was done specifically to translate.
Certain
on a national, and it worked, right?
And it worked. So to your point, it can be done. It definitely can be done.
I just think that once again, it's a matter of giving people an opportunity to understand what needs to be done to get things on a broad level. I mean, even with rap music, there were certain intricate things that happened in the early stages of rap music that made it appealing to everybody in the United States, as opposed to the word palatable. People could digest it and get an opportunity to understand it. And then once it became a part of who they were, then of course the door opened up and a bunch of other things happened. And I think a lot of times we can do that, and I think we should be able to do that at this point with the way information is given out, technology when it comes to go-go. I
totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah, it's good. Also, man, I always love to see, when we were growing up, this wasn't a big deal. But today, the young kids, to see a black man with an instrument, see a black man playing a guitar and beating some drums. I love to see that. When I see Trouble Funk and Big Tone, a younger band there, to see them guys, actually playing a guitar. The youth need to see that, because they're used to drum machines and sequencers. They need to see a person playing an instrument. It looks like
well, see, that's something that that I think that definitely needs to come to the forefront. Again, it's just playing instruments. Period. For me, that was a great source of solitude. It was a great
That's
source of motivation. It helped start my creative juices. I mean, in our house in Teaneck, New Jersey, we had a studio in the basement, and I talked about this before. We had a piano and we had drums in the basement, so I was able to, many days on the drum and come up with a couple of beats, and then go over to the piano and mess around with the notes and start thinking about songs, and it gives you, it's exercise in the brain. I was talking about before you came on about doing something for the body, but don't forget, you got to do something for the brain too. And playing and learning how to play an instrument. If it's the guitar, you understand what the notes are. If it's the keyboards, if it's the drums, you understand how the patterns work. A ratamacue, a flam, a paradiddle. All these are things that you have to focus and discipline and practice, and then you want to get better, because then it becomes the competition, the personal competition thing comes in. You hear somebody else play really well, you're like, hey, man, I want to, my chops up. So then you go back home. It just gives you a different foundation, because it's all about that foundation, man. All of the things all the ingredients that are put into you to make you the individual that you are. Anything that can help you be a better person, man, is a great situation. So we definitely need to figure out that as well, to be able to get people to understand of actually physically playing an instrument. It's so vital.
Certainly, and to what you just said, all of the great bands, especially the 70s bands that we talk about a lot, it was always that friendly competition. I talked to Steve Arrington from Slave. I did a really good interview with him, and he talked about how the Ohio players, used to, this is Dayton, Ohio. This is, I don't know what's in the water, but that's where the funk really is sticking.
So many bands came out of Dayton.
No question about it. Yeah, so I think the Ohio players used to be called the Young Mystics or something like that. They would go against Lakeside, and then all of these groups, and that friendly competition is what built these bands up to the Ohio players records and all of the funk and all of the good the bands that came out of that era. So we definitely need that back.
Yeah, we're pushing for it now. We're definitely pushing for it now. One of the things that I think we have to get back into a place is having young people learn how to play instruments in school. That was one of the greatest things that I had drum lessons in school. That was a part of my curriculum. And then when they took that out of the schools, man, I think it was a really bad move on the part of the powers that be, because you didn't have to pay for lessons because it was part of your school curriculum. Everybody can't afford to put extra money out for voice lessons. My son, he had piano lessons, and it was recitals. Everybody's not in a position to do that, man. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
It needs to be. We should push for, and this is just, again, I'm appealing to the masses. We should push for a situation for more people to give an opportunity, to give a creative opportunity musically for our young people, man. I know they got these DJ things. Grand Wizard Theodore is a good friend of mine. Shout out to Wiz. And another guy, Wiz, he's also they're all part of that DJ school. There's a DJ school that they do.
That's right.
Actually, again, my son, my youngest son, was a part of that. But again, there's got to start. The platform has got to be there. The access options. This is one of the things that I want to give people. Make sure that you give people options. Give people a choice to change, man. If you don't give a person a choice to change, they're not going to do it. If I don't know that there's an opportunity to do something different than what I see in my surroundings, I'm not. I'm going to do what's in front of me.
They do, and then, we would have never had a Prince. Prince played music. He was a good basketball player too. But we would have never had a Prince if we didn't have at that time, like pre-Reagan era, the music programs in school where you could just go, in the band, or like you said, you had a music class where you could play these instruments. He learned how to play just about. Didn't have those programs, and that could be why we people always ask the question now: where's the next Prince? Where's the next prodigy? The next child prodigy?
Right.
Probably because they don't have the access to it.
There you go. There it is, and that's something that we really got to work on, and we got to be serious about moving forward, man. Not always giving people a hard time, but starting to figure out a way to do better with the hard times. If I know there's a situation, how do I fix that situation? How do I help avoid that situation for that person? Because they might not have the tools that they need to succeed.
That's right.
You coming through this weekend, or you might come through, or
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am.
Okay.
My family's got some other things going on, track stuff, and a little
Yeah.
extracurricular stuff that the kids and stuff are doing. So it'll probably be a good weekend. So I'm looking for a good show, and I know you give a good show, and I definitely know EU Sugar Band.
I definitely give a great show.
My man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to the week. It's been a busy week, man. Like I said, I did 2 or 3 TV things this week. This later on tonight, I got to go, and my ex partner from back in the perspective, we're putting that together. So we got to shoot for that. So it's been a productive week, man, and it feels good when you can knock those things out and you got stuff on your plate, man. It's a good feeling.
I like being busy, man. I like being busy. I like having things to do. I like having creative things to do.
Sure.
So yeah, man. Well, good. Always a pleasure. You always, like I said, I wasn't really intelligent until you got on the phone and got on here. Now I'm looking a little bit smarter than I was 2 minutes ago. But I look forward to seeing you, man. It's always good to talk to you and vibe with you.
Always.
My best to your family, man, and all the things that you're doing. All right, man. Peace and grease. Don't forget grease. Oh, did I say that? Oh, yeah. Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes. It's a shout out. You got a 15-second shout out. I'm being told. What we got there? Bow ties and accessories. I enhance boys and men's wardrobes. Oh, bow tie designer. That's it. Oh, so that's all the information, right? Oh, thank you, Mark. So the email is email information at MrGandCompany.com. Tag hashtag Mr. G and Company. Yeah, make that bigger because I'm old. Mr. G and Co. Yes, www.mrgandco.com. Right? All right. So we'll wrap it up, man. Listen, like I said, I understand the struggle's real. It's real in the field. But again, do something important for yourself. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. If you got something positive to hand somebody, if you got a gift to give somebody, give them something that they can use to get done what needs to get done. I'm going to see you. It's been real. I appreciate you. I love you for loving me. This is Master G. Look, listen, and learn. And I'm going to holler at you. Peace.